All right, team. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the PT on Ice Daily Show. I am Dr. Jeff Moore, currently serving as the CEO of ICE, and always thrilled to be here on Leadership Thursday, which is also a Gut Check Thursday. Remember, this is going to be the last Gut Check Thursday that we have because now the Open's going to fire back up. So the workout for every week, of course, is going to be the Open. But if you want to get in one more, it's relatively simple. Starting from 500, 400 on the rower, it's going to be one time through for time. You're looking at 500, 400 rower into 30 box jumps and 20 hang power cleans, 135, 95. Then you're going to tick down those reps across 3 rounds. So should be a relatively lighter load, pretty approachable. Good one to kind of keep moving as we get into some of the very challenging open workouts. I don't know about you all. I'm going to be doing mine today at 2:45, kind of right out of the gate. So Mountain Time, the announcement I think is noon. So I'm going to go right over to the gym at 2 o'clock, get warmed up and give it a go at 2:45. So I can't wait to see everybody's open adventures. Hopefully most of you got signed up and are going to see how you kind of stack up. Always important, right, to not run away when the measuring stick comes out. Get out there, do your best, see where you fall, and then look at over time if your consistency can't move you up in those rankings. So let us know, tag us, enjoy the journey. I will be starting mine here in a few short hours. I have wanted to chat about this topic for months because of everything you can do in your growth and business and trajectory, I think this one might be the most shockingly rapid as far as ensuring that your upward trajectory with whoever you're working for makes the steepest kind of hockey stick sort of climb. So let me explain. The episode is titled, Change This Reflex and Change Your Life. What it revolves around is altering your reaction to new. Okay, to new news specifically, but altering the way that you compare to everybody else reacts to it. So I am in business. I am obsessed with asymmetry. Okay, where do you have it and where can you demonstrate it? The reason I'm obsessed with it is because it gets attention. And oftentimes, 90% of the battle is who can get somebody's attention. We are wired. As creatures, we are wired to look for unexpected differences. That's what stops us in our tracks and makes us pay attention to something, right? I thought this was going to happen, but this happened. That, generally speaking, is what gets a consumer's attention. It's what gets your boss's attention. It's what gets anybody's attention because that's how human beings are wired. I thought this was going to happen, but this happened. Obviously, looking back evolutionarily, it's because that makes you safe, right? Like things that aren't expected, things that are unusual are usually worth paying attention to for survival. But for whatever, however it came to be, that can now be leveraged in the way that you move forward in both your career and your life. What we're going to talk about specifically today is your response to change. So if you think about the importance of demonstrating asymmetry and you think about where you could demonstrate that would matter, the number one spot that you could demonstrate asymmetry that would move the meter in the right direction would be your response to change. And the reason for that is because it's the one where it is so unusual to see a difference from a leadership perspective. Most people's response to change, and this is widely and universally known, right? It's why they don't like it. Most people's response to change, the reflexive response, is what am I losing? Okay, and that is deeply rooted in scarcity mindset, which most people have, which is why most people don't like change. It is relatively universally held that most people don't like change. And the reason for that is because their brains are rooted for scarcity. And so when something is changing, they always fear the worst. Therefore, if you make an intentional habit to do the exact opposite, you will stand out in a way that I don't think that you could stand out more profoundly by making any other shift in your life or business. If you respond with, what's the upside here? It will have Massive downstream effects. Let me just talk about the three biggest ones that will be immediate. If you can get your reflex response to change to be positive, as opposed to, oh my gosh, what am I losing? Okay, right off the bat, the first one is it will have a profound mental health uptick if you focus first on finding the positives, okay? Because wherever you start in anything, one of my favorite sayings in physical therapy is wherever you start is where you wind up. Meaning, when you look at a lot of the big studies in PT, when people begin with a medical industrialized complex move, i.e., getting an MRI, right, getting higher level scans done, they tend to kind of stay stuck in the medical industrialized complex. But when they go to a provider that doesn't do those images, that doesn't offer those quote unquote solutions, they tend to never go in that direction because they get moving and keep moving. Things seem to resolve and they stay in that lane, right? Because inertia drives so much about life. So wherever you start is where you tend to wind up. So why not start positive? Why not? I assure you, you'll figure out some of the downsides. Those won't escape anybody. We're wired to look for that. But why not start positive? Because now it's life's job to reveal enough to you to pull you away from that position. But it has work to do. So if every time a new thing or a change comes up, your reflex is, ooh, what's the upside here? Right? What can I do with this? This could be really good. Now life needs to prove the opposite, to pull you away from that position, which is challenging because you've got momentum in that direction. Most people do the exact opposite, right? They start low, like, oh my gosh, oh no, what's going to happen now? And now there has to be a lot of proof to pull them out of that negativity. If you start high, life has to prove to you that you should get pulled down. And oftentimes it can't. So right away, just by having a reflex where you're looking for the positive, the mental health trajectory is very real. Okay, number two, and probably now talking more about business, it will absolutely shock the person who's delivering the news in the best way. If your response, right, because leaders are always dreading sharing any news about change because most people, being rooted in a scarcity mindset, are going to begin peppering you about what they're losing or why things are going in the wrong before they've even thought it out. They're scared, they're nervous, their reflex is negative. It's a lot of tough energy that comes at you when you're delivering change news to a group of people. If you're the person in that group that throws their hand up right away and says, oh, sweet, does that mean that we can blank? If you don't think you've got the attention of that leader, you're crazy. First of all, you're the only person doing that. So already you are the asymmetry. And it's such a positive thing when the leader was expecting a negative response. And now you said, oh, cool. Does that open up this possibility? Or could we now do this? It will be as shocking as it is positive. So now you've got the attention of that leader and you've got them in an incredibly positive space. There is so much positive work that you can do from that position. And finally, third, and it usually builds off of number two, looking for the positive reflexively and immediately places you in the best position to find it. With every single change comes new opportunity. Does not matter if it is at first perceived as a calamity, right? You think about big financial crashes. There are massive opportunities in every one of those calamities, right? But you have to be looking for it. If when things are moving and shaking and changing and the ground is shifting, if you're the person who's looking for in this new terrain, how can I now capitalize on variables that weren't present before? You have positioned yourself to find them first. Everyone's going to figure out the downside, but most people see the upside too late because they were consumed by the downside. So if you're the person who, when change is coming, you're looking for the upside, you're going to find it first. And now you've got the attention of leadership on you while you find the early opportunity. And you are going to be on a trajectory that is so much quicker and faster than everybody else that when you telescope that out months or years, you obtain that position and thrive in it when other people are still figuring out why some of the change was good. Crew, things happen so fast in business and life. If you're the person who can gain positive attention from decision makers when change is happening, and you're the person that can see the opportunity that arises through change, and you put those two things together, you will move forward relative to your contemporaries at a staggering speed. Because the greatest asymmetry that you could ever demonstrate is being a person who has a reflexively positive response to change when the entire world is rooted in scarcity mindset and thus has an immediately negative response to change. Enjoy better mental health and enjoy way more business success by making that one simple reflex change. PTOnice.com, team. It's where all the courses live. Have an amazing Thursday. Enjoy the open. I will certainly be reporting back on how it goes for me. It never goes overly well, but I will give it my absolute best. Enjoy, team. Have a great Thursday, great Friday, great weekend. Cheers.